So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission is Dylan Thomas MacDonald. Dylan Thomas MacDonald is one of our visionary badasses in the Brave Healer family, you guys. These visionary interviews were created to help you understand the mind and the strategy of my visionary healers. They're waking the world up, right? They are walking a world-changing walk of awareness. And I'm so honored to have you here today, Dylan. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So this is fun. I get to talk to our 16-year-old visionary, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm taking a sip of water. Hang on. Dylan Thomas MacDonald. He's 16. He's a dynamic poet and performer from the East Bay, California, a three-time Scholastic Art and Writing winner. He's also an elite cheerleader, hip hop dancer, and bilingual. Dylan is the chief editor of his school's literary magazine and contributes to poetry anthologies such as our amazing 100 Poems and Possibilities, Volume 3, and he's going to be in the upcoming Volume 4. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite projects ever, Dylan. I'm so happy to have you in that project and just have you in our world and have you here today to talk a little bit about, how is it to be in the mind of Dylan? So, what do you want the world to know about your vision for yourself, your life? Tell us a little bit of that story.
Yeah, I love to write. I love being creative. That's my favorite thing ever is to brain dump, as like to call it. Um, yeah, and for my future personally, I see myself being in any sort of creative field. Honestly, I take it day by day right now, but yeah, looking in the future, I want to be a writer, of course, but I also love I'm a cheerleader too, and I love performing. So honestly, I love everything creative art in general is beautiful and yeah. So in for my future, just being able to express myself is what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I
Well, in case you didn't already know, you are a writer. You don't just want to be a writer, but you are a fantastic writer. And I've had the very big pleasure of reading some of your writing and your beautiful poetry. So you're well on your way. You are living those things as we speak, and it's been fun to get to know you and through some of the writing. Um, get to know the way that your mind works and how these characters are on the page. um what what's the thing right now that matters to you the most?
honestly, my well-being, because I feel like in the past I haven't prioritized that. And right now I'm just really trying to focus on loving myself and focusing on myself and what I want and putting that first and kind of really discovering who I am as a person. Um, and yeah, my well-being is what I'm focusing on.
Well, listen, for a 16-year-old to say that is pretty amazing. So tell us what you mean by that. Like, how did you get to the point where you where that needed to matter? What's the story behind that? What have you been working on?
Yeah, so well last year I had a an injury to my hip. I fractured my hip. And I was just that was a pretty dark time like last year. Like I wasn't very all that happy. And I kind of grew distant with a lot of friends and stuff, and I didn't really feel like I fit in all that much. And so this year, after I healed, I was able to get back into cheer because I wasn't able to practice, obviously, with a hip injury like that. And so, as soon as I was back, I was kind of able, I was starting to focus on myself and focus on how I could, like, kind of find that, like, spark again, I guess. Um, and yeah, that's kind of what was the catalyst for my journey and for self-fulfillment and self-love.
So, a physical injury can be really devastating, especially to a high performing athlete. And what I know of the world, you guys, is these aren't just people pushing their pom poms in the air. You guys, these are elite athletes that um, step onto the mat and do these kinds of routines. And it takes all of your body, mind, soul to like perform in that way. And also just the team aspect of it, Dylan, I think is like when I watched my daughter on the mat do her thing, I was always blown away by the show of it, the performance of it, and it's really amazing. But I would imagine that an injury could really pull you down, and especially, you're physically hurting and now you're mentally hurting because you can't do the thing that you love. And so what do? Sit there and, I don't know, knit socks or something, right? Not you, not a peak performing athlete. Tell me what else you want to tell me about that.
Yeah, in cheer, honestly, the ability to perform really defines your worth in the end of the day. And yeah, that time just kind of it not being able to do anything kind of pulled like away my self-worth almost. It felt like so yeah, I would just sit there for 4 hours during practice watching my team practice, and that was definitely a time. But it it really like changed who I am as a person. I'm really able to appreciate and not take advantage the kind of um, how fortunate I am to be able to do it now and being able to, you know, compete and just it really put into perspective life in general because at any moment you can suffer anything. And so just I'm really learning to enjoy and take it day by day and just look for the small moments.
Again, a really incredible life lesson to learn at a very, very young age that will probably serve you for the rest of your life. And I always call it being benched by the universe. So if I've been benched by the universe, I have to sit in those feelings. And there is transformation that happens as long as the individual is aware. And so talking to you today, it's like, yes, I get you are in an awareness process that brought you to the other side of that. And again, that's really badass for, I know I keep bringing up your age, but I think your generation of humans are at another level of awareness. And it makes me very excited to have these kinds of conversations because that's where we're going. Talking to the listeners today too, it's like that level of awareness, that's world changing. And that is why Dylan is here talking to us on this visionary interview. So anything else you want to say about that?
Um, well, yeah, just, you know, prioritizing my well-being and health now just from that. And yeah, I'm excited for the future, pretty much.
Yeah, fantastic. You can go into it with that new perspective, which will change everything. It keeps you aligned. And the next thing I want to ask you about is along those lines too, because when you move forward with a new perspective, you're understanding how to align with what brings you the most joy. And there's something about being able to express your authentic self in the world that is so, so important. What do you want people to know about how that journey has been for you, that expressing your authentic self?
Yeah. So for me, expressing, as I said, I love writing. Poetry is like one of the greatest like releases for me. I love like that's how I like am able to express myself the most is through writing and words. I love words. I love those like descriptions, those subtle descriptions that really like are just succulent, you know? Um, and so that's just how I love to express myself because through conversation, I get really socially anxious. And so whenever like words fail me, I'm able to write them down, and that's just kind of like like it flows, and it's always like a very cathartic experience to write, and I love it, and
I,
that's kind of my main
yeah, I
way.
think a lot of writers will resonate with that. We tend to be kind of a group of introverts, and I don't know. I call myself an extroverted introvert. It's not like I can't socialize, but I much rather be with my notebook and pen and doing my thing there. You have my mind going in a couple different directions here with this topic. So a few minutes ago when we started the interview, you talked about a moment where you just didn't feel like you were fitting in. And that can be really tough. And sorry to tell you, you can be an adult my age and still feel that way. So, like, what do we do about it? But, you're the second thing on my mind is feeling that kind of social anxiety when you're out trying to be yourself with other people. And what is it about that? Like, so if we have listeners who are in that boat with us, maybe they don't feel like they're fitting in, or they're having some anxiety, talking to people. What have been some of the tools you've used? What's working for you?
Honestly, one of the things is just finding your people. I know that's harder than it sounds. Like, for me, like my best friend it's so easy to talk to her. She's like, I could go on days and like not get tired, you know. But with people that you don't like aren't really in your tribe or like you're trying to find out and like initiate conversation, for me it's like pushing against that uncomfortable stage and have started to learn this. I kind of just initiate the conversation, I guess. And even when it's uncomfortable, pushing past the barrier that your mind is like it's playing tricks on you all the time. And it'll be uncomfortable, obviously, but if you find that they don't resonate at your frequency, then you can always step back or like the world will all like will with the frequency it'll for me like I always think of the world in frequencies and how I attract the people that I need to be with at that point to learn like my lesson. So I always also have trust in the universe. So if I feel like that we're not vibrating the same frequency and it's maybe not our time to connect, I started to understand that and it's not something like personal. And like especially if it's like not working out between us, like as it's like a relationship and friendship, it'll like you'll like naturally drift, but then that doesn't mean that you can never come together or as like a whole, I guess. So just trust in the universe also something that I've had to learn.
Again, really, really next level, mature kind of perspective that is other level awareness, Dylan. So thank you, because, if I had that as a foundation at 16, my life would be very different, right? A lot of people don't find these kinds of topics or practices until well into their adulthood. So, did you guys hear that piece about, it's not personal, it's just frequency? I loved that, Dylan. It's like if you can not take it as personal and just detach a little bit, that's maybe more than half the battle in the social scene and trying to make new friends or just, be with each other. I love that. So, you're doing a lot of things right now. How's school? Are there any projects you're working on that you're particularly loving right now?
Yeah, school's good. A lot of work right now. Junior year is a lot of sleepless nights for sure. Um, but I'm on spring break now, so I get a second to breathe. I'm so excited to dive into some fun books, for sure. Sink my teeth in some reading. But I applied for a Harvard summer program and for high school students, and I was able to get in, and I'm so excited to go because I get to go and be on the campus for 2 weeks this summer. And I'm hoping to get into their creative writing course specifically. And I'm very excited about that. A little nervous, but the
Wow,
uncomfortable,
congrats.
yeah.
So tell us what that's all about. So it's a 2 week thing. What's the goal of the program?
So the course that I've been looking at is how to create like a killer short story.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I've always also enjoyed writing short stories. I love fantasy and everything. I love reading fantasy. And so yeah, it's also a good opportunity to, sorry, my cat is coming over
Cats
here.
always like to join our Zooms, no problem.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, it's also a great way to start creating like a short story portfolio of solid completed short stories. I have a couple already, but I want to find my weak points and kind of build up the muscle, like break down the to the nitty-gritty of the writing and kind of build it back up kind of thing.
Yeah, nice. Oh my gosh, that's going to be fabulous. I hope that's as fabulous as you hope it to be this summer. And
Yeah.
happy spring break. It's nice to have a break once in a while, right?
Yes.
And of course, you guys, you can check out the beautiful chapter in 100 Poems and Possibilities for Healing. That's our volume 3. And we're about to head into our volume 4 and looking for amazing authors who want to join us for that. I was like wanting to look around to see if I had my oh yeah, hang on guys. You just have to watch me get it. Okay. Um I was like, man, I should have had it for show and tell, and here it is. So I'm just gonna hold it up. And this is a beautiful book. Oh, he's got it too. That's awesome. Perfect. This is such a beautiful collection with so many amazing, fantastic poets, right? I'll give that a little shout out. Um, so let's close out today on this way. For somebody who's listening, maybe somebody who's in your situation, they're in school, they're not feeling like they're fitting in too much, highly creative, but sometimes some days are worse than others, right? Maybe they're struggling with their creativity or expressing themselves fully out there in the world. What are some kind of closing words today of advice for them?
Oh, so for me, especially with writer's block, on those days where even writing doesn't work out for me, I love to just smell fresh air, honestly. Fresh air always does something to me, or a warm shower, honestly. Shower thoughts are like what makes me write, I guess, are like the warm water just kind of seeps into your brain and but yeah, honestly, just a reset for me is all that does it is like a walk outside. It's smelling some roses. Um, and when you're just kind of at a mental block, I like looking at or like gaining inspiration too. So rereading one of my favorite books or like somebody who like I look up to, watching a video of somebody I look up to, and just kind of listening to their story or hearing their story again and seeing that they've had those days too and how you need to go through those days to get to the success. There's no light without the dark. There's no good without the bad. So I also like to really make space for those days and really acknowledge them because they're integral to life and you wouldn't have life without them.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Yes, yes, yes to all of it. I took a little quick walk outside this morning, just in between Zooms, just let the sun be on my face, take a couple of fresh breaths, and you're right, the reset can really do it. Dylan, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Yeah.
So, you guys, Dylan's on Instagram, and I've got the link down below. Um, you know, this Brave Healer community is a generous, safe space for our listeners. Maybe something resonated today. You heard something that sparked your awareness, your inspiration. Um, Come down into the show notes and check Dylan out on his Instagram page and be inspired, right? We like to be able to connect our visionary, awesome, alien, badass people with the people out there in the world. And of course, if you're ready to become a published author, we probably have an expert book collaboration that would be perfect for you. So join me over at bravehealer.com to find out more about that. And lastly, today, everyone, remember your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. It is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.